chilling video confession tonight from Trey Sesler, the young Montgomery County man who killed his family.
After I did that, it was like, well, I'm already committed, really. Can't really go to my brother and my dad and be like, yeah, I just killed our mom.
Well, hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. Anime here.
On the 20th of March 2012, police were asked to do a welfare check in Waller, Texas on the Sesler family. The responding officers pulled up outside the family's home in the 2400 block of Farr in Waller County, Texas, and upon entry it was clearly evident that the home was a crime scene as the house was in complete disarray. In the master bedroom they would find Lawton Sesler. In the garage, his wife Rhona surrounded in a puddle of their own blood. They would then find in the bathroom the lifeless body of their 26-year-old son, Mark, all shot dead with a high-powered rifle. But who could have committed these crimes? Well, there was one person missing from the family home, a man by the name of Trey Sesler, who was also known as his YouTube persona, Mr. Anime. Trey was born in Texas in 1989, and growing up he never complained about bullying or really got into any much trouble. He began posting anime reviews and skits in 2006 on both of his channels, Mr. Anime and Lenscap Productions, producing over 300 videos with millions of views by 2011. His audience grew because his reviews were direct and honest, which a lot of people in the anime community appreciated, which was in complete contrast to a lot of the YouTubers at this time who used exaggerated caricatures of themselves, where Trey just acted like himself, and it made him very likable. His videos were innocent and he just came across as a nice dude who liked to watch and review anime. But before his YouTube days, at the age of 13, this is when the first red flag would appear. Trey would tell his school teacher of a plan he had come up with. He was going to call 911 and complain about a suspicious shadow lingering outside the window of his parents' home. He would then wait in the nearby woods for police to arrive, where he would club them with his baseball bat and steal their firearms before heading to his friend's house to shoot him. Now obviously this raised a lot of concerns with the police, with the school, and of course with Trey's parents, and Trey was made to see a psychiatrist, but nothing came out of this, and shockingly enough the matter was dropped by both the police and the school. Now Trey was also a lover of firearms, and he actually started to include these in his skits, but the videos kind of slowly turned into full demonstration videos. In these videos there was no warning signs, as he would actually condemn gun violence and had a strong stance against it. He did at this point, however, begin to collect a lot of weapons and stockpile ammunition that he kept at his grandma's house as well as his family home. It was at this point he began to fixate and become obsessed with serial killers like Ted Bundy and the Columbine massacre murderers. He also began to isolate himself more and more, and this obsession would lead him down to a very dark road. By 2011 he was living in his grandmother's house after she had passed, because his relationship with his father began to completely deteriorate because he dropped out of college. Whilst living alone in his grandmother's, he began making some nefarious plans. He had gone as far as downloading satellite maps of the high school that he attended, Waller High School, to plan a massacre of his own. The plan was pretty simple. He wanted to ram through the gate and courtyard before getting out and unloading on as many people as possible with his .22 rifle, which is quite concerning and sick when you think about it, because it didn't really matter to him who died as long as people died. This wasn't a case of him getting back at his bullies or his teachers or anything like that. This was purely killing for the sake of killing. Now at this point as well, amongst his followers and subscribers, a lot of them started to notice the darkness of his videos, and there was a lot of allegations that he was using his animals for target practice. He was also drinking a lot at this point, which caused more arguments with his family, who were concerned about his growing overconsumption and dependence on alcohol. He also started to believe that his dad saw him as a crazy, unstable lowlife who would never do anything with his life. Although most people who knew the family actually would argue that his father did not feel this way about him. Now in 2012 he uploaded his second last video stating he was actually taking a break from making videos, and he may or may not upload a couple of vlogs. On March 13, 2012, Trey would upload his last ever video on his anime channel called Mr. Anime's New Job. Now, unknown to the audience at this time, he was lying and there was no job offer coming.
The good news is that I now found a full-time job in a department that I'm interested in, which is film.
And this would be his last ever video before he would commit the horrific acts that he did. On the evening of the 19th of March, Trey actually stayed up binge drinking before arming himself and driving to his parents' home. Now, neighbours actually did report to police that they were hearing some strange, unexpected noises, but police were called in to do a welfare check, and that's when they found the bodies of the family. Strangely enough as well, Trey would also, using his parents' phone, ring their places of work to let them know that they would not be coming into work because they were dead, and he actually would fall asleep next to his mother after this. Now, according to his own statements to the police later, Trey stated that he lured his mother, Rhona, to the garage where he shot her point blank 4 times. After killing his mother, he entered the house and killed his father and brother.
My brother's lying there in this big pile of blood. It's terrible. It's just a bad sight.
He would recall to police,
I'm already committed, really. Can't really go to my brother and my dad and be like, yeah, I just killed our mom.
He wrote on the walls afterwards saying, I love my mom, dad and brother, and God forgive me because I cannot forgive myself. The house was described by police as a war zone. Damage piled from front to back with broken furniture, shattered glass, rifle casings across rooms. Bullet casings were present in the hallway and bedrooms, indicating the path of violence through the family's routine living spaces. The scene itself was very grim. There was blood pools and bullet-riddled bodies in key rooms. Investigators also noticed blood-stained footprints tracking throughout the floors and corridors. At this point, it showed to the investigators his mindset at this time, as he was clearly having an emotional and mental breakdown while committing these acts. Now, after the murderers, Trey would pack up his weapons and he headed to Weller High School, where he sat at the car park for a while before deciding against carrying out the massacre that he had planned all along. Later that evening, Trey was found at his friend's house about 21 miles away in Magnolia, where he was arrested by police without incident. Now, after admitting to murdering his family, Trey told police he was ready to take up his plans on the school and said the only reason that he had killed his family so they didn't have to endure the pain or shame for what he was about to do.
Killed the family. It was on my mind to do that.
He also admitted to being a loner, as well as shooting up businesses at night and killing livestock and pets. Police would also go on to seize more weapons from his grandmother's house, as his reasoning for not shooting the school.
I don't know, maybe it was just what happened was too real.
Now, in April of that year, he was indicted on 3 counts of capital murder in the shooting of his parents and brother. His attorney actually initially indicated that he would plead not guilty, trying to emphasize the client's young age and complex personality. He would later change his plea to guilty on all charges and was subsequently sentenced to life in prison without parole. Now, it's clear that Trey did have some remorse for his actions based off the scribbles he left at the crime scene, and the fact that he didn't commit the massacre at Waller High School would suggest he was mentally aware of what he was doing and understood the difference between right and wrong, which is why an insanity plea would never have worked. He has reportedly accepted his punishment and believes he deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. And at the end of the day, he took away the most important people in his life, and the weight of that decision clearly has an effect on him. It is curious to see how he was able to actually commit such horrific crimes, and although he gave his reasoning because he didn't want his parents and family to be ashamed of him shooting up school, it doesn't really still make any sense, and it of course doesn't actually justify killing his family. And yes, he did have some issues with his dad and they were having their arguments, but there doesn't seem to be any history of abuse or him not having any sort of real love for his family, so it's still kind of out of pocket, it's still out of the blue, and it still is very unexpected for obviously the neighbours and the family members who were left behind after this horrific nightmare. Trey Sesler was once a quiet, anime-loving content creator who descended into isolation, delusion and violence of the worst kind. And although his plan was to shoot up a school, ultimately it was his family who paid the ultimate price. And it stands out as a reminder to the importance of mental health support and the fragility of the human mind left in silence too long. The red flags were there, and maybe if they were taken more seriously, this tragedy could have been prevented. As it goes to show, we really don't know what's going on in anyone's mind. And I think it's also a reflection on guns and how easy it is to get guns, especially in a red state like Texas. And I know that might piss off some Americans, but it is something that should be addressed in a story like this. He had very easy access to getting guns without any sort of real difficulty. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe as always if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, do you think this could have been prevented? Do you agree or disagree when it comes to gun control in America? Because I'm always curious to hear, especially from Americans, what they think about that. Do you think that the school let him down, or the psychiatrist let him down, or the police let him down? Or is it just one of those very complex things that it's hard to spot and it's hard to prevent from time to time, because some people are going to commit these crimes and sometimes they can't be prevented? Either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.